Are you struggling to add a parallax effect to your website? You're not alone. Many developers face this challenge, especially when working with limited HTML structures. Today, we're going to explore how to achieve that stunning parallax effect using pure CSS. I totally get it. It can be incredibly frustrating when you follow a guide and things just don't work out as expected. You're trying to implement a beautiful design, but the limitations of your HTML structure are holding you back. Let's dive into this together. Here's the situation. One user reached out saying they followed Keith Clark's guide for CSS Parallax, but they can't get it to work on their new website. They can only edit certain parts of the HTML structure. Sound familiar? Let's figure this out. So, what's the issue here? The user mentioned that when they apply the parallax styles to the body, it works, but not when applied to the container. This suggests that the structure and styles need to be carefully aligned to achieve the desired effect. And stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share a crucial tip that can help you troubleshoot similar issues in the future. To begin solving the user's issue, we need to ensure that the parallax effect is applied correctly. The first step is to add the necessary CSS styles to the container element that will hold the parallax layers. Next, the user should apply the transform styles to the parallax layers. This will help create the depth effect that is characteristic of parallax scrolling. Now the user needs to ensure that the parent elements of the parallax layers also have the correct styles. This includes setting the overflow properties to allow scrolling without clipping the layers. Finally, the user should test the implementation by scrolling the page. If everything is set up correctly, the parallax effect should now work as intended when scrolling down the page. Fun fact, the concept of parallax scrolling was first used in video games to create a sense of depth. Now we're bringing that same magic to web design. Now let's look at the answers provided by other users. This user found that the parallax effect doesn't work well when applied directly to the HTML tag. Instead, they suggest applying the effect to a containing div. This allows for better control over sticky elements as you can track the scroll amount on that div. They also mention that since sticky positioning doesn't work in Edge or Internet Explorer, a fallback is necessary. In those cases, you can disable the parallax effect and revert to using position fixed for better compatibility. That wraps up that answer. Let's move on to another one. An alternative approach suggests ignoring the body and HTML elements altogether. Instead, you can create your own editable wrapper. This user proposes using a new class called .body, which allows you to apply the necessary styles without affecting the overall structure. The user emphasizes that this method keeps your changes localized to elements you can edit, ensuring the parallax effect works as intended. They provide a working example that demonstrates this technique. Here's a pro tip. Always test your CSS changes in a live environment. Sometimes what works in theory doesn't translate perfectly in practice. This can save you a lot of time and frustration. And there you have it. With these adjustments, your parallax effect should be working beautifully. Remember, troubleshooting is part of the process, and every challenge is an opportunity to learn. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more tips.